Okay, let's get right into it. Today, we're unpacking a 15-word blueprint that, honestly, completely reshapes how you look at achievement. But listen, we're not treating this like some cheesy motivational poster. No, we're analyzing this text through the ultra-disciplined, hyper-rigorous lens of actuaries and risk managers. The professionals whose literal job is to build rock-solid, multi-billion-dollar success stories over a 30-year horizon simply by calculating and eliminating failure. If you've ever wondered how to engineer your goals so they aren't just wishful thinking, but an absolute statistical certainty, well, you're in the exact right place. Let's break this down word by word.
Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Let that sink in for a second. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. It sounds simple, right? But this single sentence is actually the ultimate mathematical truth. In the high-stakes world of risk management, where fortunes are meticulously protected and grown over decades, this right here is the fundamental operating principle. It's the ultimate playbook for mitigating risk. Everything we're going to cover in this explainer is pulled straight from the mechanics of this exact quote. We're going to unpack exactly why this formula practically guarantees your long-term success.
Section 1. The definition of success.
So let's dive into this first assumption. Culturally, we are totally obsessed with the overnight leap, aren't we? The sudden breakthrough, going viral, that one massive event that supposedly changes everything in a flash. But look at it through the eyes of a long-term risk manager. To them, an overnight leap is basically synonymous with catastrophic, unpredictable variance. It's a huge risk. I mean, think about it. If something can magically skyrocket overnight, it can absolutely collapse just as fast, because there's no sturdy foundation holding it up. Hoping for a sudden leap is it's a total gamble. And our source text completely rejects that gamble. It strips away the glamour, the luck, the suddenness, and replaces it with deliberate, iterative compounding. Success here isn't scratching off a winning lottery ticket. It's a highly deliberate, carefully engineered architecture where literally every single piece is load-bearing.
Section 2. Sum of small efforts. Let's laser focus on that word, sum. A sum is a cumulative total resulting from the addition of multiple components. By choosing this exact mathematical term, the text is telling us that success is inherently an equation. It's a ledger. In the actuarial world, building a cumulative total means fiercely tracking fractions of a percent and guarding them as they compound over decades. Think about how an actuary actually structures a massive life table or a multi-billion-dollar pension fund. They absolutely are not looking for massive, risky windfalls. No way. They hunt for tiny, statistically guaranteed advantages and they stack them, day after day, year after year. Those fractional gains interact, they compound, and they build an unbreakable financial fortress. You simply can't get that massive sum without patiently adding up distinct, individual pieces over a long, deliberate timeline.
So, what exactly are we adding up in this equation? The text gives us a very strict, very specific parameter: small efforts. And I love what's notably absent here. It doesn't demand superhuman endurance, or betting the farm, or burning yourself out with overwhelming output. In risk management, a small effort isn't some dramatic sweeping gesture that makes the evening news. It's a micro-adjustment to an insurance premium calculation. It's doing a meticulous, boring data scrub to make absolutely sure a massive spreadsheet is flawless. It's a tiny risk assessment run on a quiet Tuesday morning when literally no one is watching. These microscopic, mundane, deeply unsexy tasks are the actual building blocks of monumental success. The effort just needs to exist and be executed with precision. It really doesn't matter how small it feels in the moment.
Section 3. The power of repetition.
And this brilliantly illustrates the relentless chronological requirement we're dealing with. Step 1, you make your small effort. Step 2, you repeat it day in. Step 3, repeat it day out. This closed loop is the ultimate risk mitigation strategy. Look, if you perform a meticulous risk assessment just one single time, it's virtually useless against the vast unpredictability of the future. But if you execute that small effort in an unbroken, relentless loop, you actually eliminate variance. You isolate and crush the chaos of the unknown. The mechanism we're analyzing isn't just basic addition, it's relentless iteration. Professional risk managers hate an open loop. This cycle is the exact operational rhythm of a legendary 30-year career. You execute the small, precise action, evaluate it, and immediately do it again, creating this unstoppable chain of compounding momentum.
Let's really zero in on that phrase, day in and day out. I want you to seriously think about the intense psychological endurance those words demand. This isn't about trying really hard for a few weeks while you're hyped up on motivation. In the actuarial world, day in and day out means a grueling 30-year horizon. The text doesn't say repeat when you feel inspired. It demands steady, unwavering consistency, entirely without that immediate dopamine hit of a flashy leap. The true professional knows that the meticulous work you force yourself to do on an exhausting rainy Wednesday is exactly as critical to the final sum as the work you do on a big, triumphant launch day. Maintaining that calculated discipline over 3 decades, just ignoring the noise and doing the math, that is exactly what generates the monumental sum.
Section 4. The final equation.
So the crucial point is this. We can boil this whole thing down to 3 core takeaways from our microanalysis, tying them perfectly back to that long-term risk management framework. Number 1, success is cumulative. It's a strict mathematical sum, not some random lucky event. You have to treat it like an ironclad equation. Number 2, the efforts driving that sum must be small, highly precise, and deeply sustainable. Think back to those daily data scrubs. If the efforts are too big, you introduce massive risk. And number 3, repetition is strictly required over an incredibly long horizon. Compounding these tiny efforts, day in and day out, for 30 years, that is the statistically proven blueprint for monumental success. That's the complete, unyielding anatomy of achievement. Which brings us to the ultimate application of this explainer. Based entirely on the rigid, mathematically proven requirements of our source text, I want to leave you with a final, slightly provocative thought. If your ultimate success is a mathematical certainty waiting 30 years in the future, what microscopic, precisely calculated small effort will you repeat today to absolutely guarantee you get there? The math is perfectly clear. Now it's just a matter of starting the addition. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep meticulously building those sums, and I'll catch you next time.